Hi, I'm Jen from That Mama Book Nook, and welcome back to my channel. Now that I've officially have a new bookshelf, which I know has been in my videos for a few months, but I thought it would be fun to do a little bookshelf tour of the physical books that I have on here. This is my TBR shelf. I have over 200 books on my physical TBR. I mostly acquire them from little free libraries, gifts sent to me from publishers, library sales, and I do occasionally buy books full price for myself as well. I also have a red bookshelf that is behind me in the videos if you have seen some of my older ones. However, I do give away a lot of my books that I've already read, so that one is significantly smaller. I'm not going to show that one today. I also have a very small it's not even really a bookshelf, it's my nightstand next to my bed that has books crammed in it as well as stacks of books around it. Those are books that I have actively already pulled from my TBR to read currently, or that I should be reading currently. If you watch any of my TBR videos, you know that I pull a lot of books each month that I hope to get to read. If they do not get read by the end of the year, they will go back on this shelf at the end of December or beginning of January. But I'm also not going to show that one today because it is a hot mess, but maybe one day I will give you guys a tour of that one. So I will plan to go through each of the books on this shelf. This bookshelf is organized by page number, which is definitely not obvious from when someone first sees it. It is organized from longest to shortest book. I obviously will not be going through any synopses of any books today, but if you see any books that are some of your favorites that you think I should prioritize, definitely let me know. Maybe one day I'll do like a booktube follower, like reading booktube followers' favorite books, who knows, but I would just be interested if you let me know anyway. Alright, so this is my very top shelf with my longest book being Crescent City, House of Earth and Blood by Sarah J. Maas. I do not have all of Sarah J. Maas's books. I do have the full ACOTAR series, but this one I saw at a little free library and I grabbed it up, but this is my longest book on my shelf. Then I have A Court of Silver Flames. You won't see the rest, most of the rest. There's one, the novella, you'll also peek at the end, but you won't see the rest of this series because they have already been pulled from my TBR. Then I have an arc of Tale of the Heart Queen by Nisha J. Tooley. I did not receive this as an arc. This was purchased at an arc sale, and just because selling of arcs is pretty controversial, I do want to let you guys all know that the bookstore that does this arc sale that is local to me gives 100% of the profits to the food bank, and they only sell arcs after publishing date, and they sell them for very, very cheap. Then similarly, I have an arc of Glow of the Everflame by Penn Cole and an arc of The Reformatory by Tananarive Du. Then I have Twisted Lies by Anna Huang, Homecoming by Kate Morton. Kate Morton is my favorite author, and I have several of her books on my shelves that I can't wait to get to because I haven't actually read that many for her to claim her as my favorite author, but that is the case. Then getting close to the top here, I have The Time Traveler's Wife by Audrey Niffenegger and Bury Our Bones in the Midnight Soil by V.A. Schwab. That's her newest release. Then we come down here, The Huntress by Kate Quinn, Silver Elite by Danny Francis. This is an arc of When the World Tips Over by Jandy Nelson, The Night Circus by Erin Morgenstern, The Games Gods Play by Abigail Owen, another V.E. Schwab. This one is A Gathering of Shadows, The Witch Elm by Tana French, Daughter of No Worlds by Carissa Broadbent, another of the Twisted series. This one is Twisted Hate by Anna Huang, another Kate Morton, The Lake House. Then we have True Colors by Kristen Hanna. I'm going to move this one over. This is a book that I need to fit in. This is my newest addition to my TBR, and it's Immortal Consequences by Ivy B. Marie. Then we have Storm and Fury by Jennifer L. Armentrout. Another Kate Morton, The Clockmaker's Daughter. Play With Me by Becca Mack. Pachinko by Min Jin Lee. Lilac Girls by Martha J. Hall. There Are Rivers in the Sky by Elif Shafak. Kate Morton House at Riverton. Kate Morton also has a lot of books that are big. This is, you know, my biggest, longest books on my TBR. Then Tana French, The Likeness. Gillian Flynn, Gone Girl. A Gentleman in Moscow by Amor Towles. Unravel Me by Tahira Mafi. I apologize if I'm mispronouncing any authors' names. Six of Crows by Leigh Bardugo. Rebel Witch, which is the second book in the series, or in the duology, by Kristen Ciccarelli. The Searcher by Tana French. A book in the Bridgerton series, The Viscount Who Loved Me by Julia Quinn. And another Leigh Bardugo, Ninth House. Alright, so that was my longest books, but there are definitely still plenty more. I have The Four Winds by Kristen Hanna. This one is Scythe by Neil Schusterman. The Hypnotist Love Story by Leanne Moriarty. The One by John Mars. The Latecomer by Jean Hanf Korelitz. One Day by David Nichols. Mad Honey by Jodi Picoult and Jennifer Finney Boylan. Magnolia Parks by Jessa Hastings. In the Woods by Tana French. The Things We Leave Unfinished by Rebecca Yarros. The Woman in the Window by A.J. Finn. Between Sisters by Kristen Hanna. You will also find a lot of Kristen Hanna on my shelves. The Briar Club by Kate Quinn. One Last Stop by Casey McQuiston. The Things We Cannot Say by Kelly Rimmer. Beartown by Frederick Bachman. Chain Gang All-Stars by Nana Kwame Adjei-Brenna. Truly Madly Guilty by Leanne Moriarty. The Lost Bookshelf by Ebby Woods. Shark Heart by Emily Hebeck. Their Vicious Games by Joelle Wellington. Here's to Us by Ellen Hilderbrand. On Mystic Lake by Kristen Hanna. Those Empty Eyes by Charlie Donnelly. Caraval by Stephanie Gerber. Ink Blood Sister Scribe by Emma Torres. A Game of Fate by Scarlett St. Clair. And Beautiful Day by Ellen Hilderbrand. Then I have Spark of the Everflame by Penn Cole. True Love Experiment by Christina Lauren. Faithful Place by Tana French. Unbroken by Laura Hildenbrand. I don't love how my bookshelf has these random stacks, but that's kind of how I'm fitting things right now because I have way too many or I need another bookshelf. Bride by Allie Hazelwood, Magic Lesson by Alice Hoffman, A Girl Called Samson by Amy Harmon, and The Love Hypothesis by Allie Hazelwood. Okay, coming down a little lower, I have Summer Island by Kristen Hanna, Winter Garden by Kristen Hanna, Touch of Darkness by Scarlett St. Clair, another Kristen Hanna, this one is The Things We Do for Love, We Were the Lucky Ones by Georgia Hunter, Yours Truly by Abby Jimenez. Then kind of hiding back here, we have The Guest List by Lucy Foley, Circe by Madeline Miller, Happy Place by Emily Henry, The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo by Taylor Jenkins Reid, and So I Roar by Abi Dare, She's Up to No Good by Sarah Goodman Confino, Red Rising by Pierce Brown, Sunrise on the Reaping by Suzanne Collins, The Heaven and Earth Grocery Store by James McBride, The Winemaker's Wife by Kirsten Harmel, The Intern by Michelle Campbell, The Atlas Six by Olive Blake, The Inheritance Games by Jennifer Lynn Barnes, The Rumor by Ellen Hilderbrand, The Twist of a Knife by Anthony Horowitz, Wrong Place, Wrong Time by Jillian McAllister, Me Before You by Jojo Moyes, The Love of My Life by Rosie Walsh, The Reading List by Sarah Nisha Adams, Where the Crawdads Sing by Delia Owens, Family Lore by Elizabeth Acevedo, The 5-Star Weekend by Ellen Hilderbrand, It Ends With Us by Colleen Hoover, Everyone in My Family Has Killed Someone by Benjamin Stevenson. Then I have Not Another Love Song by Julie Soto, The Wedding People by Alison Esbach, The People We Meet on Vacation by Emily Henry. And then this kind of random stack is then You Loved Me by Ingrid Cooper, The Scorched Trials by James Dashner, Dating Mr. Dill by Nisha Sharma, Meredith Alone by Claire Alexander. Okay, getting lower, I have this shelf, one more below it, and then a couple really skinny ones that are kind of hidden off to the corner that I can't quite fit. But on this shelf we have Society of Lies by Lauren Ling Brown, Beach Read by Emily Henry, The Book of Witching by C.J. Cook, The Phoenix Crown by Kate Quinn and Janie Chang, I Am the Messenger by Marcus Zuzak, Then She Was Gone by Lisa Jewell, Just One Day by Susan Buchanan, Shadow and Bone by Leigh Bardugo, Darling Girls by Sally Hepworth, Finley Donovan Is Killing It by El Cosimano, If We Were Villains by ML Rio, Passion Project by London Sperry, Divine Rivals by Rebecca Ross, The People We Keep by Allison Larkin, The Chain by Adrian McKinty, The 7 O'Clock Club by Amelia Ireland, The Thursday Murder Club by Richard Osman, The Last Devil to Die by Richard Osman. These two books are the first and fourth book in the series. It's not often that books in series are together on my TBR shelf. I don't even own the second and third book, so I don't know if they would also fit in here, but that would be kind of funny. The Measure by Nikki Erlich, Any Other Family by Eleanor Brown. The Secret Book of Flora Lee by Patty Callahan Henry. The Silent Wife by Carrie Fisher. West with Giraffes by Linda Rutledge. The Vanishing Half by Britt Bennett. The Midwife of Auschwitz by Anna Stewart. The Serpent and the Wolf by Rebecca Robinson. Silka's Journey by Heather Morris. Bye Baby by Carola Lovering. Our Infinite Fates by Laura Stephen. Between Shades of Grey by Ruta Sepetys. Apprentice to the Villain by Hannah Nicole Mayer. Anxious People by Frederick Bachman. The Hideaway by Lauren Denton. Daisy Darker by Alice Feeney. This stack we have Midnight Duet by Jen Comfort. Sold on a Monday by Christina McMorris. Station 11 by Emily St. John Mandel. The Summer Will Be Different by Carly Fortune. And The Astronaut and the Star by Jen Comfort. I have to get a little creative for filming this shelf that's all the way basically to my floor. This is Water for Elephants by Sarah Gruen, Forget Me Not by Julie Soto, Shatter Me by Tahara Mafi. I have 2 copies of My Brilliant Friend by Elena Ferrante. This one is in Italian. It's titled L'Amica Geniale. I used to be able to read Italian really well. I haven't completely lost it, but I would someday love to read this in Italian since that's its original language, but also in English so that I don't lose that much of the context either. The 7-Year Slip by Ashley Poston. The Kill Order by James Dashner. The Amalfi Curse by Sarah Penner. The Death Cure by James Dashner. I have read The Maze Runner if you're wondering why all the other 3 books are on here and that one is not. A Legend in the Baking by Jamie Wesley. The Personal Librarian by Marie Benedict and Victoria Christopher Murray. The Girl in the Train by Paula Hawkins. Homefront by Kristen Hanna. The Silent Patient by Alex Michaelides. The Zookeeper's Wife by Diane Ackerman. Haunted Ever After by Jen DeLuca. The Art of Racing in the Rain by Garth Stein. I'm trying, guys. This was harder than I thought. The Lion Women of Tehran by Marjan Kamali. Saltwater by Katie Hayes. Whalefall by Daniel Krauss. The Summer We Ran by Audrey Ingram, and The Choice by Nicholas Sparks. Then we have Emily Wilde's Encyclopedia of Fairies, The Sleeping Beauties by Lucy Ash, The Lost Apothecary by Sarah Penner, Summer Romance by Annabelle Monahan, The Kiss Quotient by Helen Huang, The Collected Regrets of Clover by Mickey Brammer, Wish You Were Here by Jodi Picoult, The X-Hex by Erin Sterling, Mame by Jessica George, This Time Tomorrow by Emma Straub, The Candid Life of Meena Dave by Nimrata Patel, The Dancing Girls by M.M. Chouinard, The Last Thing He Told Me by Laura Dave, Park Avenue by Renee Adier, The Push by Ashley Adrain, The Bodyguard by Catherine Center, also How to Walk Away by Catherine Center, Homegoing by Ya Gyasi, The Fury by Alex Michaelides, Margot's Got Money Troubles by Rufy Thorpe, A Bucket List Birthday by Emmy J. Holland. Then, as I mentioned, I have a couple books that are just tucked away in the corner next in like this dead space in between my bookshelf and my husband's closet. So I'll just pull those out real quick and just show them. We have Sarah's Key by Tatiana de Rosne, Never Let Me Go by Kazuo Ishiguro, Pretty Little Liars by Sarah Shepard, The Maid by Nita Prose, The Girl Who Lived by Christopher Grayson, In the Hour of Crows by Dana Elmendorf, The Year of Second Chances by Laura Avery, Dear Mrs. Bird by A.J. Pierce, People Like Her by Ellery Lloyd, The Guernsey Literary and Potato Peel Pie Society by Mary Ann Schaefer and Annie Barrows, Kentry's Stolen Souls, Escape into Magic by A. Isles, The Hiding Place by Corey Ten Boom, Bad Summer People by Emma Rosenblum, Perfect Fifths by Megan McCafferty. This is a series that I started in high school, like when I was actually YA, and I never finished, and I have this last book, I think. This is the last book on my shelf forever. Someday I will read it just to complete it. The Vaster Wilds by Lauren Groff, In 5 Years by Rebecca Searle, His Secret Daughter by Melissa Weisner, and Winter Street by Ellen Hildebrand. Almost done. My last little stack here. One Italian Summer by Rebecca Searle, Leave the World Behind by Rumaan Alam, Snowed In by Trisha Wentworth, as I mentioned at the very beginning, A Court of Frost and Starlight by Sarah J. Maas, And my shortest book currently on my shelf is Women Talking by Miriam Toews. Okay, there you have it. I don't know if that was even interesting to see the books on my physical TBR. It was kind of a workout to go through all of them. But yeah, that is it. That is all the books on my physical TBR that have not been pulled for a month yet. I realized there was maybe a small stack of books that I've received from publishers that I know are going to be on my TBR that I didn't go through, but technically aren't over in the other section. So that was there's like 5 that I missed. But you'll see them on TBR videos this month, so not hiding anything from you. I also have a lot more books that I don't own that I'd love to read one day. I try to keep track of those on Goodreads on just like a want to read list. There are well over 1,000 books on my want to read list. Again, even books that I don't own yet. But this is what I have here. As I mentioned, if you spotted any favorites while I was going through them, I know I didn't like pull them out and fully show them for most of them, but I wanted to keep this video kind of quick and fun. So heard me say any of the titles or saw the spines of any of your favorites, please leave them in the comments and let me know. But if you are not feeling super chatty and you just want to let me know that you are here, go ahead and leave a book stack emoji for all the books, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!